Alright guys, and welcome back. I am Largo, and today we're checking out another death battle. This one is the Winter Soldier versus the Red Hood. This video was a commenter suggestion. A couple of you out there have suggested this a couple times, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. This is actually probably one of the better ones out there. A lot of times these death battles, these characters are put together in a death battle for a little more than surface level similarities, you know? Big one that comes to my mind would be something like Quicksilver versus the Flash. I have not done a reaction to that video because I already know who's gonna win that video. That thing is such a landslide in favor of one character over the other that it's almost questionable at why they put those characters together in a death battle in the first place. And that was because they're both speedsters. This is very similar, except it's much closer than most of these death battles actually are. Winter Soldier versus Red Hood is an actual really good close matchup. So we're gonna have to get into it, see a little bit, and I don't think I'm gonna give my prediction until after we hear both of these character breakdowns. So let's go ahead, jump right into it, see what the boys at Death Battle have to say.
World War II. As strange as it is to name a war a sequel like some sort of movie, it was a time of turmoil across the globe. The brave and patriotic did their part, including one James Buchanan Barnes, known by his friends as Bucky.
As a young lad, Bucky ripped open a standard superhero booster pack to find classic cards like Dead Parents and Deep Desire to Fight for Justice.
The classic superhero booster card pack. Bro. Okay, yeah, I mean, the Dead Parents card is in almost every deck, right?
And that combo served him well in the US military. He joined at the age of 15 and eventually got recruited for special assignments and training.
This video is sponsored by Professor, which is an app and overlay that gives you a huge advantage when you play League, so you can use it to
Cool like some sort of movie, it was a time of turmoil across the globe. The brave and
to find classic cards like Dead Parents and Deep Desire to Fight for Justice.
And that combo served him well in the US military. He joined at the age of 15 and eventually got recruited for special assignments and training with British commandos.
Not long after that, he became friends with his own personal hero and the country's favorite Boy Scout, Captain America.
Bucky was initially unaware of the captain's secret identity until one night he walked in on Steve Rogers changing into his costume.
Well, I guess that's one way to get to know a guy. Luckily, Cap had a lot of faith in Bucky and asked him to become his partner in crime, or hero work. They fought.
Gosh, gee whiz, golly, Cap. 40s and 50s dialogue was just ridiculous.
Fought side by side, kicking Nazi ass throughout the rest of the war.
The duo seemed to be unstoppable until one fateful mission when they leapt after a plane to catch Nazi scientist Baron Zemo.
Fortunately for Bucky, he was able to grab onto the plane, while Cap fell into the ocean to nab his last diving merit badge. Get it? Cause he's a Boy Scout.
Unfortunately for Bucky, the plane was booby-trapped and exploded. It appeared as though the captain's loyal sidekick had been killed.
But the ones we love in comic books never truly leave us.
Sometime after the war, a Russian submarine discovered Bucky's body preserved in the icy waters of the English Channel.
They decided to scoop him up and experiment on him. Cause why not? Who could pass up a free body you found? Even if it was missing an arm.
Bucky's training and experience made him the perfect candidate as the ultimate assassin. And after they revived and brainwashed him, they outfitted him with a shiny new bionic arm,
turning Bucky into the Winter Soldier.
Along with this new persona, the Winter Soldier sported a sundry of skills throughout his career that made him a killing machine. For starters, he was injected with the Infinity Formula,
which permanently increased his physical ability to an enhanced state.
This made him quite the formidable foe even for Captain America, a foe who seemingly abandoned the values the duo previously shared.
Okay, alright, so he does have supplemental augmentation aside from his bionic arm. The Infinity Formula is not the same thing as the Super Soldier Serum. It's not the same thing that made Captain America Captain America. That was a one-off thing that has never been successfully recreated, much in the same way that Captain America's shield was a vibranium adamantium hybrid with a little something else in there that's never been successfully recreated. So he does have a little something extra in there aside from just human physiology. So that, just take note of that.
These two have fought plenty of times, and Bucky's been able to hold his own against his former partner.
His advanced strength and speed, coupled with his knowledge of various fighting styles, make for a lethal combination. He's skilled in everything from hand-to-hand close-quarters combat to an impressive arsenal of ranged weaponry.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of sweet guns that are outfitted with some nifty palm print sensors, so only he can shoot them.
If anyone other than the Winter Soldier tries to use these firearms, they will self-destruct. He also wields a katana, throwing knives, pretty much whatever comes in the welcome bag at Assassin Con.
Always a good time at ASCon.
But we can't forget his most iconic piece, the arm.
Well, I mean, it's definitely the coolest metal arm I've ever seen.
What about
The coolest metal arm you've ever seen? Bucky's arm isn't even the top 5 in Marvel, in my opinion. I mean, right off the top of my head, I can think of what? We have Cable and his techno-organic virus metal arm, which can do so much more than Bucky's. You've got Thor with his Black Uru arm, which is basically turns his arm into another Mjolnir, which is awesome. It amplifies his powers and it's magical and can channel lightning and stuff. It's crazy. It's like he has a second hammer. Ulysses Claw's prosthetic arm, which is pretty crazy in itself. I mean, it can disrupt nanotechnology and it can fire out sonic blasts so powerful that it can shred metal, even vibranium. Then you've got Misty Knight's arm, which basically puts all these other arms to shame, except for maybe Thor's. Her arm is made out of Antarctic vibranium, which literally melts other metals up to and including vibranium and adamantium. Wolverine's claws literally melt in the presence of her arm. Her arm would literally melt most of these other arms, including Bucky's. Doc Ock, not necessarily a replacement arm, but it's still a metal prosthetic arm. And he decided, screw it, I want 4 of them and I want them to be super long. So he gets like the range advantage and the number advantage when it comes to prosthetic arms. All their arms are better. Like, Bucky doesn't even break the top 5 for metal prosthetic arms in Marvel.
not mine? I made it myself.
Come on, Wiz, look at that thing! His is super buff, plus it's got a flamethrower, a retractable blade, it can emit electric charges, and it's so strong, knives break on impact.
It's not about the size of the arm, it's how you use it. Well, sure, it's strong, but it's not indestructible. It's been torn up by a vibranium sword.
Wait, I thought the arm was made of vibranium.
You're thinking of the movies. In the comics, Bucky did not receive a vibranium arm birthday present from T'Challa. Canonically, his arm is made up of strong but unspecified metals, likely a form of titanium alloy similar to the Iron Man suit.
Even without vibranium, it's tough to keep up with Bucky. He took a direct shot from Iron Man's repulsor blast, which was strong enough to tear through a helicopter moments later.
And consider the heroes he's battled. Wolverine,
Repulsor blasts, I feel like, are not an effective way to power scale. We know for a fact that his repulsor blasts have different firing modes and power settings. When he hits people with them, he doesn't turn it all the way up. So to say that the repulsor blast knocked Bucky back and then also took down a helicopter, it's not a one-to-one thing. It's not like he was using the same power settings to hit soft, fleshy material and then using that same power setting to knock a helicopter out of the air. That when he hits people, he doesn't do it full blast.
Daredevil, Iron Man, and obviously Captain America.
It's a shame Bucky and Cap were at odds for so long. They should have just knocked him on the head real good. That's the scientific way to get people to remember who they are, right?
Or you can use a cosmic cube to rewrite their memories. That's what Captain America did to save Bucky.
Who was so pissed off, he just straight up crushed the cube with his bare bionic hand.
While this brought him back, Bucky wasn't the same man who went into those icy waters. His remorse for his crimes was tough to overcome, and he would always wonder if he's done enough good to finally redeem himself.
But thankfully, it was hard to shake everything he learned from his hero, Steve. Bucky returned to fighting for justice, and even took up the shield himself for a while.
Proving that, despite his sordid past, Bucky's persistence and resilience makes him a hero in his own right.
All right, that was the breakdown for Bucky Barnes, and I did in fact learn some new things about Bucky Barnes. He does have some type of advanced serum in him that helps him, with a little bit of strength, durability, endurance, and gives him a very, very small healing factor. So he can heal faster than a regular person, but it's nowhere close to other people's healing factors. So that's something. So he might be slightly stronger, slightly faster, might have slightly more endurance, and can heal slightly faster than a regular person. But he does have the training, and he does have the bionic arm. I'm going to have to say the bionic arm is probably Bucky's biggest asset against Jason Todd, at least right now. So let's go ahead and jump into Red Hood. See some of their similarities, see some of their differences, and hopefully make a decision on who's going to win after this, because I'm still really not sure. It's still up in the air for me right now.
When you think of the word sidekick, who immediately comes to mind?
You. It's
Robin.
you.
No, Robin, the boy wonder, Batman's iconic crime-fighting partner.
Yeah, it's a close second. Too bad the Cape Crusader sidecar has been a revolving door of orphans and acrobats.
Not including alternate universes and what-if stories, Batman has taken 5 different Robins under his bat wing. Some moved on to pursue a superhero career of their own.
Yep.
Others didn't turn out so lucky.
Enter Jason.
Dick Grayson, Tim Drake. No. Dick Grayson was the first one. Jason Todd was the second one. Tim Drake was the third one. I don't know who they're counting as the last ones, right? Damian, obviously, but who's the fifth one? I wonder if they're going to consider that Duke. I don't know.
Jason Todd. This poor kid was given the short end of the stick, and then the fans beat him to death with it.
They did.
Jason grew up on the streets of Gotham, getting by through a life of petty crime, until eventually running into the Batman himself.
By trying to steal the rims off the Batmobile. This kid's got some serious balls. I mean, you can't exactly look at the damn Batmobile and mistake it for someone else's car.
Bruce had recently split up with the first Robin, Dick Grayson, and was on the lookout for a new sidekick. Impressed by Jason's scrappiness and latent ability, he had the 12-year-old suit up. Yes, he really was 12.
Yikes! Well, creepy child abducting habits aside,
I'm going to say it, bro. I've always said it, that the one thing about the character of Batman that makes no sense whatsoever is Robin. Makes no sense. None whatsoever. I mean, he was created way back in the day, back when they were trying to sell comics, and they were like, well, how can we do this? Oh, we need the reader, children, to have some character that they can, apply themselves to, that they can see themselves in. But how are they going to see themselves as a rich billionaire in his 30s or 40s or however old he's portrayed as? No, they created Robin as a child so that the children readers of Batman could go, oh, I'm like Robin, and get into it, right? But as a character thing, it makes no sense. It makes no sense, right? Batman's whole thing is to go out and fight crime at night to try and prevent the tragedy that happened to him from happening to other people. How does he do that? Takes orphaned children out there with him? Makes no sense whatsoever. None. Zero. As cool as characters like Dick Grayson are, especially when they grow up and become Nightwing, it legitimately does not make sense for the character of Batman to adopt orphans to send them out into the streets to fight criminals that have guns. That being said, that's ancient history. Robins exist. There's nothing we can do about it. So let's just move on.
Bats hoped he could live up to the last Robin. Too bad this was a literal dick measuring contest that Jason had no chance in.
Despite some moderate success, Jason wasn't exactly an extraordinary Robin, and the fans saw it too. In an unprecedented move, DC asked their readers to vote on whether or not Jason Todd would live or die.
Yep, they voted to kill the shit out of that kid, Joker style. On an unrelated note, if you want to see Wiz die a horrible, gruesome death that will lead to some serious mental health issues, call 555-2337 or 555-BEER.
Jason Todd
What a great little thing to put in there. That's funny.
was dead. Until Superboy Prime punched a hole in the fabric of reality and accidentally brought him back. True story, don't ask.
And after a dip in a magic hot tub, the Lazarus Pit, Jason was back in top form. Take that, readers! Your contribution means nothing!
Resolve renewed, Jason donned a new identity inspired by his own killer, the Red Hood.
While the freaky death pit did bring him back stronger and faster, it turns out resurrection comes at a price. Jason was already a hothead, but Red Hood had a serious temper with violent outbursts. He wasn't alright in the noggin.
But he had a goal: destroy Batman and show him his humane methods were unfit for saving Gotham City.
If Bats had actually killed the Joker way back when, he never would have killed Jason in the first place. For a raging psychopath, he's not exactly wrong. Where Batman failed, Jason was up for the task. He pushed himself to become a killing machine even Bruce would have a tough time keeping up with.
Even training with the League of Assassins and the All Cast, a group of monk assassins.
So much ass stuff in this episode.
In addition to Red Hood's wide array of skills, he also maintains a serious collection in his arsenal. Most obviously, his armored cowl. While it provides him with sturdy protection, the sensors within also allow him to scan his surrounding area, neutralizing any potential stealth threats. Plus, the hood can also explode, so that's convenient?
Sounds like
I don't know, man. Something about strapping explosives to your own helmet. A helmet that you know is going to receive multiple concussive force. You're going to get hit while you're wearing it. You might even get shot in the head while you're wearing it. Someone might take a taser to it and apply an electrical shock to it. There's so many reasons why I would not want to attach explosives to my own helmet. That seems like a really bad idea.
my new hangover recipe. On top of the red chrome dome, Jason packs all sorts of knives, explosives, guns, and he even once summoned these weird magic swords called the All Blades to fight off supernatural threats.
But probably most important is his continual use of venom.
Wait. What's the symbiote doing here?
No, the venom drug. It's what Bane uses to get all, swole.
Wiz, have you ever been to the gym? Like, even once?
Dummy.
I'm here to carry your arbitrary burdens.
Venom is an addictive steroid that increases strength and stamina tenfold. A normal dose also affects the mind, dumbing it down and causing bouts of rage. But Jason's...
Superpowers, here I come! You can call me the Red Neck!
No, you're supposed to inject it.
Dummy, clean that up.
Using Venom has made Red Hood strong enough to fight off monsters twice his size, tear through alien tendrils, and even once break the grip of Supergirl.
He can hold up a small part of a collapsing building, dodge bullets, and even once survived an all-cast ritual called the Cleansing, which no human has been able to do in over 1,000 years.
And while it was difficult to determine if this feat was due to Jason's worthiness or stubbornness, it's safe to say that either way, he's a tough guy.
Tough enough to punch through a submarine hull, or at least he carries enough explosives to blow a hole through it. Either way, I wouldn't want to go one.
Okay. So I did not realize that he was using Venom the way he does. Like, I understood that he was thrown into a Lazarus pit, and sometimes that has physical effects on the body. And after being in the Lazarus pit, your body can be stronger and faster than normal. But I did not realize that he took Venom on the regular to enhance his physical abilities. While Venom does not give you any type of healing factor, I would go out on a limb and assume that the strength and stamina that Venom gives you is more than what the Infinity Formula would provide to you. So I think his chemical boost might be better than the chemical boost that the Winter Soldier is getting from his Infinity Formula. but he still does have the bionic arm to make up for some of that lack of strength that he might have. So I don't know, man, still kind of up in the air.
One-on-one with this guy.
Red Hood also has plenty of that bat-like stealth ability to match his brute strength.
He was able to sneak away from Supergirl. Even Bruce will be proud of that one.
Despite how Jason tried to kill him. But the Red Hood failed and was left to re-examine his own personal code. He ultimately decided to be a hero again, albeit a very conflicted one.
He even teamed up with Bats and even worked alongside other Robins. He also leads a group of ragtag heroes called the Outlaws.
The roller coaster of Red Hood's crime-fighting career has, at best, landed himself in that anti-hero sweet spot, and at worst, made him a violent vigilante who takes the law into his own hands.
Those are the heads of all your lieutenants. That took me 2 hours. You want to see what I can get done in a whole evening?
All right, that was the breakdown for the Red Hood. I learned a little something about him as well. So overall, we have 2 characters that were previous sidekicks to very popular, famous superheroes. They both were separated by some means. They both were thought to be dead or were actually killed, and they both came back as anti-heroes that both of them kind of live in that space between anti-hero and hero. Sometimes they're anti-heroes, sometimes they're heroes, but they're enough in the middle to where it's always gray with these 2 characters. They are both trained in martial arts. They both have been trained by military experts. They both have been trained by assassins, by government people, by world-renowned martial artists. One got training from Captain America and the other got training from Batman. We've seen that in the crossover comics, Captain America and Batman were able to fight to a standstill. They were dead even. Everything Batman threw Captain America's way, Captain America was able to counter. Everything Captain America threw Batman's way, Batman was able to counter. They literally fought to a standstill. So while Captain America is probably stronger, Batman is more skilled. And I think we're gonna wind up with something similar, right? Because Bucky's got that bionic arm. Neither of these characters have any qualms about killing or using firearms or knives or deadly force. Bucky's got the bionic arm, but he's got Bane's venom. This is so close. This might be the closest death battle that I've ever had to do. I'm gonna go with Red Hood because I kind of like the character a little better, and I think that his use of Bane might tip it in his favor. Oh, but it's really hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. And when I say that I'm picking Red Hood, that's because 51% of me wants to vote for Red Hood, but the other 49% of me wants to vote for Winter Soldier. That's how close this is. So I'm just barely gonna go with Red Hood. Crossing my fingers that I'm right, but let's find out.
Yo, Barbie.
Jason, it's me.
Oh,
What do you...
that's right. That's right. One of the commenters let me know that this is a live action death battle, something that I've never seen them do before. So that's pretty cool.
want, Bruce?
8 assassins from the League of Shadows were gunned down 2 miles from your current location.
Sounds like a party.
They were all shot with rounds from a modified M4. A gun I know is in your arsenal.
As much as I'd love to take credit for that one, it wasn't me.
Don't lie to me.
It wasn't me, Bruce. But you know what? You can count on me to crack the case. In fact, I believe there's a bit of evidence that demands my attention right now.
Jason.
Ah, Big Belly Burger. A little reference there. Pretty solid costumes. Well done, guys. Well done. All right, all right.
Bar's closed.
All right, all right. Oh, all right, yeah. Oh, that bionic arm.
Okay.
Nice, nice. I will say that's one thing I didn't think about, but Red Hood should definitely be better at stealth and maneuvering in the dark and stuff like that, because that was never Captain America's MO, right? To be stealthy or sneaky or be able to like hide in the shadows. No, man, the guy wears an American flag on his chest, has a giant shiny shield, and runs straight down the middle, right? Yeah, so you would think Red Hood would be way, way, way more skilled, having been trained by Batman in how to be undetected and remain in the shadows and stay hidden and avoid your opponent. It's that arm again, man. Is that a Nightwing star? Almost looks like a Nightwing star.
My turn.
Oh, okay. All right. He shut down his arm. You lost the primary advantage. I didn't think about his arm being able to be shut down. Oh! Oh! He's getting beat up with a crowbar! If this isn't gonna trigger his rage, I don't know what is. Beating on Jason Todd with a crowbar? Not a good idea. He's not gonna be happy about that. Oh, you can even hear Joker's voice in the background. Jason, oh Jason, just taunting him, dude. It's the crowbar, dude. He's remembering that beating.
He's not coming. No one.
Shut up!
All right, he hasn't used the venom yet. There we go.
Sorry, Bruce.
All right, here's the moment of truth. Is this gonna work or not?
Now you're dead.
Kinda waiting for him to rip his arm off. Oh! Oh, he got him! He crushed his head!
This is Agent Barnes. Target eliminated. Moving on.
KO! Oh, talk
Oh boy! Took an L on that one.
about a headache.
These two were quite evenly matched. They both had wells of experience, similar arsenals, and an unparalleled drive to win.
They even had almost identical speed and reactionary feats, and Jason definitely had better stealth skills.
However, Bucky Barnes earned the edge in almost every other way.
Like how Red Hood had plenty of experience training with Batman and assassins, but Winty had decades of training on him with commandos, as the captain's side piece, an emo assassin, and even as Captain America himself.
The Winter Soldier also had an edge in defense. His metal arm was able to shatter a knife on impact, but when Red Hood took a similar hit, his helmet cracked.
Red really didn't have any way to stop that arm for good, or Bucky's superhumanness. Sure, using Venom could even the playing field for a short time, but a brief power-up is nothing compared to a metal arm and the permanent infinity formula.
And don't take Jason breaking Supergirl's grip out of context. She wasn't expecting the Venom, and they weren't even fighting in the first place. It's interesting, but not nearly as noteworthy as it sounds.
Yeah, we know for a fact Venom is a 10-time strength booster. There's no way Red could match a Kryptonian in a real brawl.
Red Hood was a deadly combatant, but the Winter Soldier one-upped him with superior experience, survivability, and a consistent strength advantage.
Looks like Bucky was the winter.
The winner is the Winter Soldier.
Okay, you know what? As far as the experience thing goes, you know what? I will give it to Bucky. I will give it to Bucky. They made a good point. While Jason does have, at least in my opinion, superior training, Bucky actually has more real-world combat experience. Like, Bucky's actually fought in real wars, not just the whole superhero, street crime, vigilante thing, where, you know, you almost always have an advantage over your opponents. Bucky actually has real war experience on a real battlefield, so that could potentially help him. Again, this is a 1v1 fight, so a lot of things that go into battlefield tactics don't actually apply, but okay, all right, I'll take the L on this one, and we'll go ahead and say that Bucky is the winner of this one. It is honestly too close to call. I think this is one of those battles that is so close that it could be determined either way. Okay, I'll take it. Bucky Barnes is our winner. The Winter Soldier is the winner. And that, my friends, was the battle for the Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. Another death battle in the bag. I always love doing these things. This one was pretty interesting because it was so close. I always love reacting to these death battles, and I hope you enjoy them as well. If you do, hit that like button. And consider hitting that subscribe button to help the channel out. As always, leave your suggestions down below. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.